All right.
Today it's my pleasure to have Jeff Chiba Stearns here, Director of Mixed Match. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for being interviewed by me.
Great. Thanks, Kempton. Thanks for inviting me.
So can you tell me and tell the audience about your new documentary, Mixed Match? What is it about?
Sure. Well, so the new documentary that's in progress right now is basically it's a film that explores why it's more difficult and some of the challenges and complexities behind multi-ethnic people, so people of mixed race or people of sort of a biracial background who have more of a difficult time trying to find bone marrow matches if they have rare blood diseases like leukemia. And basically it just sort of boils down to the fact that as we blend and as we mix, our DNA and our genetics are becoming more complex, and those are sort of some of the things that are needed when you're trying to find a match through the bone marrow registries.
Mm-hmm. So why is it so urgent now?
Well, what we're finding is that in this day and age, there's just so many more children being born who identify as being sort of multi-ethnic, being from multiple backgrounds and a much more diverse population than there was, let's say, of my generation. You know, I'm a part Japanese and part Caucasian descent. So basically what's happening is that it's kind of a supply and demand thing. You know, basically all these kids are being born, and some of these kids have some of these rare diseases, and they just can't find a match because there's not enough people of my generation on the registries. So what we're trying to do is just create more awareness for basically everybody to join the National Bone Marrow Registries and just sort of let people know that this is a very complex issue that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm. So I put up the picture of Maya on and her family. Can you talk a little bit about the story of Maya?
Sure. This was a really rare meeting. Maya actually had received a transplant from a donor from Hawaii.
So Maya is the little girl in the middle of the photo?
Yeah, in the little red dress. And those are her parents beside her, so Mina and Sam. And basically, Mina is of South Asian descent, and Sam is of a Caucasian background. And so Maya, being mixed, had a kind of a difficult search for a match. But luckily, Roseanne, who you can kind of see just below, you can see just below Sam, Roseanne there, that was Maya's match, and she was from Hawaii. And basically, Roseanne was sort of mixed herself, a bit of a different mix, but a mix nonetheless. And so she was a match and was a perfect sort of donor for Maya. And yeah, so now Maya's healthy and strong and basically just started school the other day, and it's great. And so we were there to capture that reunion between the two of them. And Roseanne came in from Hawaii for this event. So this event was put on as a fundraising event for A3M, which is Asians for Miracle Matching. And they're based out of basically California, and they try and find donors for Asian patients.
Right, it's Mega's story here.
Yeah, so Maga, I came into Maga's story because she was a friend of mine. His daughter was friends with Maga, and they went to school together, and he let me know that Maga, who is of Ecuadorian and basically Native American descent, and she was searching for a donor, and because of her mix, she was having a really hard time trying to find a match. And it turned out that she had spent about 7 months in the children's hospital, kind of quarantined to her room because she had some infections. And they had found her a match, and it was from, I believe, somewhere in Europe, which is quite interesting. And so it was quite a similar match from what I know. And so Maga has since had the transplant, and I believe she's just recovering right now. Basically, obviously, it costs money to make a film, and we're making a feature-length documentary, and a lot of our patients are spread out across North America, and so the patients we're following, we kind of have to keep updated on them and kind of keep filming with them, and every day we are approached and we get some new patients that we hear about that we want to talk to and capture their stories. So what we're doing right now is obviously sort of film financing is starting to dry up a lot. There's not as many grants anymore. There's not as many broadcasters supporting the one-off documentaries. So we're trying to sort of raise some awareness with this campaign. For people, if they want to contribute to help us finish the film, they can visit the Indiegogo page here. And as you can see, we've had quite a few contributors so far. We've got a goal of $25,000 we'd like to raise to help us finish the film. And in exchange for some contributions or any kind of donations, we're giving people incentives and perks such as signed DVDs, putting your name in the credits, posters, producer credits. I'll even break out a pencil and draw some art for you. So all kinds of fun stuff. And basically the amount that you contribute determines the perk that you'll receive. So people have a choice if they want to donate $10 or if they want to donate $1,000. Every little bit helps, and we're really encouraging people just to donate whatever you can if you can, and contribute what you're able to. Or basically if you can't, then just sort of spread the word to other people, let them know about our campaign, and of course, encouraging people to join the National Bone Marrow Registries in their country if they're not already on the registry, and hopefully that will help save a life for somebody.
So this is you holding a Q-tip. What is the story behind it? Is it painful to be on the registry?
No. I think, there's a lot of misconceptions of what it used to be. I believe, back in the day they used to take a blood sample, but now that's all changed with technology and advancements in medicine. Now it's as easy as just taking a Q-tip and swabbing just the inside of your cheek, and then taking another Q-tip and swabbing this side, and that's pretty much it. And in 5 minutes, you've registered on the National Bone Marrow Registry. You have to be between the ages, I think, of 17 to 60. There is a push to find more male donors between the ages of 17 and 35 because doctors feel that their sort of stem cells in the bone marrow are better suited for matching. But of course, we encourage everybody to join the registries, and that's what this documentary is hoping to accomplish. Just raise the awareness of more people just understanding that it's not a hard process to join the registries. It's very simple. It's really, there's no pain involved. It's just, little Q-tip swabs, and that's it. And nowadays, if you are called on to become a donor and you are a match for somebody, it's not as sort of complex anymore as having to drill into your spine or your bone marrow to extract it. It's as simple as basically just giving blood, and it can be done through a blood transfusion. So 70% of the time, it's very simple, and it's just a blood transfusion, and it takes a few hours, and you're in and out, and you've hopefully saved someone's life.
Right. So speaking about that, I want to ask you to talk about these two ladies. So I understand Chrissy, the lady in the top picture here, plays a very important role in the movie, or in the story of getting more people.
Yeah, of course. Chrissy has been searching for 3 years to find a match, and you got to think that's a long time. Now, she is still healthy for now, but her disease could progress, and basically she's based in Los Angeles. She's part Japanese, part Caucasian, and she's been so active at going out and recruiting people to get on the national registry in the U.S., and I believe up to this point it's over 6,000 people that she's signed up. So for one person to kind of go out and really just get the ball rolling and get people aware of this on her own is remarkable. So yeah, Chrissy's such a great spirit. She's super positive and vibrant, and so yeah, we're really looking forward to sort of capturing more footage with her down in Los Angeles, and yeah, hopefully, she will be able to find a match. Actually, she did find a match, but I think it was an 8 out of 10 match. So when we rank matches, you want to have more of a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 because there's less chance of graft versus host disease with that match once you have the transplant. So it gets risky if you go for a lesser sort of match and it doesn't take. Then you have to search for another match right away, and if there is none, that's when it becomes complicated. Yeah, so Athena's great. She was the one who actually approached me with the idea for this documentary because she runs a little group in the U.S. called Mixed Marrow, and they're one of the only groups that actually target specifically mixed people. And she kind of said, hey, do you know about this? You're mixed and everything else. So I said, you know what, I kind of did. But I didn't know enough about it. So once she started to explain it to me, it really started to make sense and started to realize the urgency of getting people to understand the importance of this topic. Because as a society, we're just getting more complex. We're blending and mixing it up. And North America, mixed people are one of the fastest growing demographics in North America. So if that's going to continue to be the case, we need to make sure that we're all being socially responsible and hopefully donating our cord blood from babies that are born, because that's just medical waste, but that's life-saving material, right? So that's something that I know in Canada in about a year they're going to start creating a cord blood bank so that expecting mothers and mothers can donate that cord blood, so it stays in a bank where they can basically donate that. It can be used for anybody looking for a donor. Or a match.
Right. So in Canada, I understand we have one match, and if I can bring this is the site, right? So so one match. Tell us how that works.
Yeah. So one match is our National Bone Marrow Registry. They are operated under Blood Services Canada. And essentially, they're the ones responsible for going around and holding donor drives and trying to recruit people to join the National Bone Marrow Registries. There's been really big pushes in in sort of like the sort of ethnic minority groups amongst Canada, so the Chinese, the South Asian. There's been a big push to try and get more of that sort of group on the National Bone Marrow Registries because they are also very underrepresented on the registries. And, because bone marrow matching has to do with ethnicity and sort of genetics, it is sort of almost what people would say is race-based, right? So with that, it's very important that sort of particular groups help to raise their profile on these national registries. So I know that one match is sort of targeting those groups and hoping to get more people there's over 85%, I think, Caucasians on the national registry. So it's very easy if someone is Caucasian and they need a match to find one, but it's very rare and much more difficult when it sort of boils down to being of an ethnic kind of diverse sort of issue. Right. So.
Right. And in the U.S., in the case of mixed marrow, so they help feed the U.S. version of the marrow registration. Is that right? How does that work?
Yeah, that's correct. I know that Mixed Marrow, Athena, she operates under Asians for Miracle Matching, and they help her get the kits, and she can go around and hold drives across the U.S., and she's actually come up and worked with one match here in Canada during a drive recently this summer, trying to recruit some multi-ethnic people at the Hapapalooza Festival. So she's been pretty instrumental in just going out and raising awareness and helping to basically just give her time. It's all volunteer for her, like she's not getting paid for any of this, and she's doing it out of the goodness of her heart. And so, with this documentary, we're kind of highlighting her story, her journey as well, because I think it's quite a remarkable one that someone gives that much of themselves to helping other people. And, essentially the film is going to look at a lot of different aspects, obviously from people who are still looking, people who have survived, patients who have unfortunately succumbed to their illness, and talking to the parents. So we're kind of covering all our bases with that, looking at why does ethnicity matter when it comes to this kind of stuff, why is it more complex for people who are mixed to find donors. All these sort of issues will be explored and talked about and debated in the film. So.
Right. So in closing, let's bring back the fundraising that you're trying to do now to help finish production of the film.
Right.
What are the deadlines and what's your hope on that?
As you can kind of see from that screenshot, we have 22 days left, and it feels like those days are rapidly depleting. We're going to wrap on April the 27th, so we really encourage anybody who would like to get involved and join our campaign to do so, definitely sooner than later. Just help us out, because the more people that help donate and help contribute, the better our chances are of reaching our goal. And we're about a little over 20% funded, so we have still a long ways to go, and really hoping that we're doing more media and getting the word out. But like I said, if we don't hit our goal, I'm not going to be heartbroken, because we're already raising awareness for this issue and this cause, and that's really all we want to do with this film, is to help save lives.